Hey there, friends, and welcome back to another 3-Minute Thoughts. My name is Derek, and in the next 3 minutes, we're going to take a look at Luke chapter 22 and John chapter 13, the night before the cross. It's Passover, and the final pieces of God's redemption plan are falling into place. Luke 22 opens with the plot thickening. The chief priests and scribes are desperate to kill Jesus. Satan enters Judas, who betrays his teacher, Jesus, for money. It's this terrifying and chilling moment that sets the stage for the darkest night in all of history. As Passover arises, Jesus sends Peter and John to prepare the meal. In the upper room, he shares the bread and the cup. The very first Lord's Supper, the Last Supper, becomes the Lord's Supper. He changes the covenant, demonstrating a new one is established. This is my body given for you. This cup is poured out for you as the new covenant in my blood. The meaning is staggering. Jesus transforms an ancient Passover meal into a new covenant meal centered not on a lamb, but on himself as the lamb. And then in a moment that's both tender and painful, he reveals that one of them will betray him. The disciples argue about greatness, but Jesus turns the conversation upside down and says, "Let the greatest among you become the youngest, become the servant of all." That's where John 13 zooms in with a powerful detail. Jesus, knowing the Father had given all things into his hands, gets up from the table, removes his outer garment, and washes his disciples' feet. The Lord of glory takes the role of a servant. When he finishes, he says, "If I then, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet." Love is no longer a feeling. It's action, humility, and sacrifice. And this ain't about feet, friends. This is about humbling ourselves to serve those around us. If we go back to Luke chapter 22, the night grows heavy. Jesus warns Peter that Satan has demanded to sift him like wheat, but he reassures Peter, "I have prayed for you." And then in Gethsemane, Jesus prays with anguish so intense that his sweat becomes like drops of blood. He submits completely, "Not my will, but yours be done, Father." He doesn't want to do this, but he's willing to be humble in the presence of his Father. Judas arrives with the soldiers, betrays his teacher with a kiss. Jesus is arrested. Peter follows at a great distance so as to stay safe. And as Jesus is mocked and beaten, Peter denies Jesus 3 times. And then Peter's eyes are open and he weeps bitterly as the rooster crows. This chapter ends with Jesus before the council declaring the truth that seals his fate. From now on, the Son of Man shall be seated at the right hand of the power of God. They cry out, "You are the Son of God then?" And he says, "You say that I am." The foot-washing God, the suffering Savior, the betrayed friend, all of it points to one truth. Jesus is love in motion. The King stoops to serve, prays through agony, and walks willingly to the cross. Be well, friends.